I submitted a pair of beaded woman gauntlet gloves um, on brain tan hide, deer hide, with a rose, a floral pattern on the cuff, fully beaded fringe, and been doing beadwork probably since I've been 5 years old. It's something that was passed on to me by my great grandmother Eva Piffero. She's from down in, we call it Cordis, and that's down there in Crescent Valley. And she learned from her mother, my great-great-grandmother, Mary Hall. And Mary Hall's work is in our Northeastern Nevada Museum on display, her baskets and her buckskin and beadwork. And she also has some beaded gauntlets there on exhibit. The gloves, their idea, I believe comes from the cavalry, because when the cavalry used to wear gloves, it was similar. It was a gauntlet glove that you'd see that they wear, and so the Native Americans or the Indians, we probably got a glove or something and made a pattern of it, and just went from there with it. Just expanded on the idea, and back in the day, and I don't know if you want to say the Buffalo Bill Wild West show and all that, you see a lot of them beaded gauntlet gloves, and a lot of the earlier cowboys, they would wear them. You see a lot of old pictures with gauntlet gloves that are beaded and buckskin, gloves. And back in, like say, the Wild West shows and that, there was, you'd see old pictures of lady, that maybe Annie Oakley. She would have a pair of gloves like that or something like that. So it was kind of a popular item back in the day, and more or less like a parade item or a show item when you're out, when showing your horse. And that's where you see a lot of it nowadays, is like your cutting horse shows and that, the people get dressed up and they would wear something like that. So it's still functional now, and a lot of the ranchers back in the day, they liked the buckskin gloves, because if it was made with real heavy hide, when you're working a barbed wire fence, that barbed wire won't go through that buckskin. So it was very functional use back in the day. It had its purpose as a work glove. My daughter Sydney, I'm trying to teach her the art of beadworking, and she has helped me tan hides last summer, so she understands the work involved with that, because we do process our own hides the same way that it's been done for thousands and thousands of years with, brain tan solution. So it's our method that we use to tan is something that hasn't changed since whenever it was discovered thousands and thousands of years ago. So it's basically the same method that I'm sharing with her and teaching her, and hopefully she carries it on one day.
I started from a photograph of a kind of a wall of rocks with some trees on top, and there was a reflection of the lake, or the lake below it. And so I did a drawing on my paper with pencil, and found the basic main shapes of the painting. And then the kind of art that I like to do, the kind of watercolor I like to do, is I like to put down paint on the paper, and then go back and find the shapes that are in the paper, or in the paint. And so that's how I found the rocks. And then I did the same thing with the trees. I dropped paint in, and then went back and created the image. So that's the kind of painting I like to do, pretty free form.
Yeah, I actually submitted 3 items this year, 2 photographs and 1 poem. I submitted a picture of a Corsair airplane. It's a warbird that I saw at the Reno Air Races. I have a love for airplanes, always have, since I was little. My dad's a pilot. I've always wanted to learn how to fly, but since I can't, I go and enjoy everything that everybody else can do, so. And it was sunset, and it just seemed to me like it was the perfect time to take that picture, so I did. I actually did some volunteer work for the traveling wall for the veterans, so that's what I wrote about this time. And just, I think you have to have your heart in the right place. So it was really deep, what I wrote. It meant something. So yeah, something has to really touch me in order to write about it, so, or be really, heartfelt.
This semester I submitted a digital collage, and it was composed of a number of photographs, most of them taken on different journeys overseas. In fact, a few of them were taken on the last trip I did for GBC to Italy and Switzerland. So I've been working on a kind of a theme. It sounds kind of odd, but I like going to cemeteries and finding the graves that have actual photographs in them. You've seen that where they have a photograph and then there's glass over it to protect it. And I take pictures of those photographs and then I merge it in with a collage of different things. So the one I have for Argentum for this time is actually a photograph taken from Cemetery Island in Venice. So it's just one big island that was turned into the cemetery, I think in the Middle Ages, so it's a very old place. And it was just fascinating, the way this lady looked, and so I took that and then I just started combining other elements of things from that trip and from other trips, and came up with kind of a, I don't know, kind of like a haunted theme, sort of a kind of a moody theme, I think it is. I use the current form of Photoshop, which is the Creative Cloud, so CS7, CS6, I can't remember, but so those tools to merge and then of course blend all the different images, cut them out, and then put them all together. So it's kind of like making a regular collage, if you cut photos out of paper, we've all done that, and then sticking them all together. It's much the same way, just with technology. So kind of neat.